Hey guys, Parfax here, and today we're talking about some massive news coming from New World. All right, let's get started. So in the recent devlog, they talked a lot about, well, some of the stuff that is coming up. We got a roadmap, and we got a few things, little snippets of information coming out this year into early next year. So first things first, we are getting the Winter Convergence event. It's gonna be a slightly better version from last year's Winter Convergence event. We're also getting Brimstone. It's gonna have its first event, which is gonna look hopefully pretty amazing, because I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to events, Winter Convergence has been one of my favorite in honestly almost any MMO that I've ever played. Now, we're gonna get some new items, some new rewards, and we're actually getting another world boss similar to the Turkalon. Well, I guess not the Turkalon, but they said more like the Halloween event. So hopefully it is going to have some crazy fun rewards. Hopefully we're getting more patterns like last year, but we'll have to wait and see what those patterns will give. I cannot wait to get in there and see those meteorites fall from the skies, because honestly, it's one of my favorite things that I've ever seen in MMOs. It doesn't really have any like game breaking mechanics, but watching the meteors fall from the sky when you hear that noise is just honestly something that I absolutely love, and I cannot wait to see. Next, they do talk a little bit about territory control. This one I'm not going to talk a ton about because we've seen it on the PTR, and essentially they're going to try to do away from shell companies. They're going to give us now a mercenary system. The one big thing to note here is you're going to only be able to do one war per day per account. So if you're going to want to be a character that has a ton of wars per day, like a lot of them do, you're going to have to buy another account and level it up. They're going to give us a little bit of time, because I don't think this update is coming out super quickly, but it could be as early as next week for the territory control. I don't believe they actually said when it's coming, but I know a lot of companies have, their fresh start server accounts that they're doing wars. They have their main server that they're doing wars. So it's going to bring a new dynamic. And of course, we are getting the hopefully no shell companies now, because you're going to have the 3-day cooldown from swapping from guild to where you can fight in their war. You're going to have the one account per day, and you're going to have to field, I believe they said 30 of your own people in the war from that company to fight against you, or to fight with you against another company. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes up. We knew most of this information, so it's kind of just reiterated here, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Then the big thing they talked about here was the roadmap. Now, on this roadmap, you're going to see a picture of it right here. And they talked a little bit more than just this, but we have a new expedition. Now, one thing that I hope this expedition, I hope they give us some interesting items. My biggest problem with the Ennead was it was cool and all, but let's be honest, the rewards in it weren't that great. Hopefully they're going to give us some, weapons and armor. There's going to be stuff that we cannot roll. For instance, if you look at the Lasbo specifically from the Lazarus, it has Vicious and Enchanted, which just can't roll together. Now, the Lasbo is not Bis. It's still a very good weapon, but I hope they bring out some more content like that, because it is getting easier and easier to get Bis gear in this game. And if they keep bringing out expeditions without giving us any unique armors, there's not going to be really any reason to run it. We'll have to see what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of gear they give us in it. It is going to come in the spring next year. Now, on this roadmap, they didn't show the new mutation system. So we have a mutation with Amarine and Starstone. They call it like the Starstone Amarine mashup. I believe that's coming this year. So because it wasn't on the roadmap, they did talk about it a little bit, which is going to be really cool. I wonder if they're still going to bring us an Amarine expedition or a mutation and a Starstone. We knew there was a Starstone that we had saw at one point. I imagine with the mashup, they're just not going to bring us one of each as well, because that'd be kind of redundant. But it is going to go into rotation, and it's actually something that I'm looking forward to doing. It's going to be fun. It's the first time. It's one of the few mutations I'm actually looking forward to. So can't wait to see that. And then they have another event, the Springtide Bloom event. They said they haven't got a chance to work on it physically, but it's going to be a lot of going out and gathering. We don't really have a whole lot of information on it, but I do love their events. We are getting a couple more zones of main story quest improvements. They're going to continue going through a few more zones, but the big thing here, other than the expedition, is going to be gear set storage system. This is going to be absolutely massive. I cannot wait. There's way too many sets of gear in this game, and I cannot wait to get a storage system that allows me to separate it. There's a lot of things I want to see them do in this category, like even name your storages. I would love to just name my Windsward storage, gear and stuff like that, or PvP gear. But we should be at least getting a storage system that allows us to separate our different sets of gear, and I cannot wait. And then in the summer, we have raid groups coming. Why would you need raid groups? They said it's going to be raid groups of 20 because we have the trial coming out, the elite sandworm, the big guy in Brimstone. We pretty much know where it's going to be already. You can kind of see it on the map, but we are getting the sandworm trial with the raid groups 20. This is actually going to change open world fighting as well. Now, they didn't talk about this, but it's going to be interesting to see how many healers you're going to need in a group when you actually have big 20-man groups. So we will see how healing is going to work, because some of healing only works in groups. So it'll be interesting to see if it changes open world fights at all, but it's going to be a lot of fun getting out there, 20-man groups for your chest runs and doing open world PvP. And then, of course, getting the Sandworm Elite trial done. We are also getting the Summer Medley Fair event, the Cross World OPR. We knew that was coming. They said it's going to open up, if that goes well, or when that goes well, it's going to open up more, probably expeditions and 3v3s, that kind of thing. And then, thing that I have been waiting for a long time, I have been gathering stuff for this for a long time. We're getting the transmog system. So what this means is, if you want to get some transmog, some cool ones, you better get them now. Better go through the trading post, get them now so that you can get them at a cheap, because once the transmog system gets closer to release, some of that stuff, I imagine, it's going to go very high in price. So get on the trading post, get them, and get them at a cheap right now. I bought a bunch of items about a week or two ago just so that I can get transmogs, and I cannot wait for the transmog system. I have almost two full storages full of transmogs that I want to use. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That is the stuff they talked about in the dev blog. If you want to go watch it, I'll put a link in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Like always, I put out a PvE tier list video just the other day, so make sure you go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.